Are you ready to have your website get found by the right people? Are you looking to rank at the top of Google so you get more traffic to your website? Are you ready to learn how to use SEO and content marketing to grow your organic traffic? If so, you are in the right place, my friend. Welcome to the Simple SEO Content Podcast. Hi there. Welcome back to the podcast. I am going to sneak in one more quick episode before I go pick him up at his friend's house. So I'm doing good. I've gotten 3 recorded while he was at a play date. So yay for that. So this time, what I want to talk to you about is how to audit your website and blog content to boost your SEO, especially your AI SEO. We've talked a lot about AI overviews, AI mode, ChatGPT, and the fact that we have to change our content formatting for AI. So today I want to really look at what do you have on your website? How is it performing? Can we update it and make it work better for SEO? And can we have a better chance of ranking in AI in the overviews, AI mode, ChatGPT, Perplexity, etc.? So on a regular basis, like once a year, I go ahead and I update and review and audit my website and blog content. And if I have any pages that really aren't applicable anymore, I go ahead and get rid of those. So say that I had a product or course that I used to sell and I don't sell it anymore, or a consulting program that you don't have anymore, you want to go ahead and get rid of those pages because you don't really want people to come in and find things that aren't relevant, or you're not really helping, you're not offering that anymore. It's not a good user experience. So let's go ahead and get rid of those. Now, when you're getting rid of them, there are a couple things you can do with them. One, you can redirect them, meaning somebody who finds that page goes to another page automatically. They land on a different page. Or you can just remove them. You can just delete them out. Now, if you don't do an actual, like you don't delete them the correct way on the back end, then you're going to end up with what's called a 404 error, meaning that the page was not found. Well, it doesn't impact your SEO. Google doesn't really care. I care because it's not a good user experience. So I had an issue with my air fryer toaster oven this morning. It's been acting up for the last week or two. And so I reached out to Cuisinart to find out because I heard, it was under warranty. They'd take care of it. So I searched, and sure enough, online, I found information. It gave me the website page that I could submit my claim. But when I went to that page, it was a 404 error. So I couldn't submit my claim. I couldn't do what I needed to do in that moment. And I actually had to call them. Now, thank goodness, they were awesome. And they answered their phone in like 20 seconds. And I got somebody really nice on the phone, and she was super helpful. And they're sending me a brand new air fryer toaster oven because mine broke. But it's not always like that. My microwave decided to die on Memorial Day as I was getting ready to host a pool party with like 25 people at my house. And when I called KitchenAid to get help with it, it ended up taking me 3 phone calls in about 2.5 hours before I got somebody and got it scheduled to have someone come out. So as a consumer, when I saw that 404 error on the page, it was like, oh my gosh, no, I just want to be able to submit this online. I don't want to have to wait on the phone for hours to get help. So think about that from your consumer's perspective, your reader's perspective. You don't want to have 404 errors on your website where you're not helping them get to where they need to get to. So really think about that. So go through and clean up any pages that are no longer applicable. You don't offer that. It doesn't tie to anything in your business anymore. Just get rid of them, remove them, or redirect them. So I have like training classes that I teach live once or twice a year. Well, if I'm not teaching it live, the person doesn't need to end up on a page that says, hey, this doesn't exist. I just redirect them so that when they search that, they end up on the page for the training class that's currently available, because that's what they're looking for, is a training class. So think about that. Think about the user experience when you're doing this, and make sure that if you are doing a redirect, you're redirecting them to the correct page. Now, if you are going to do a redirect, there are two types. One is a 301, which is a permanent redirect. The other is a 302, which is a temporary redirect. In most cases, you're going to use a 301 permanent redirect. If this is feeling too techy, just have your tech person do it. But realistically, if you're in WordPress and Squarespace and some of those, you're going to be able to do this pretty easy on your own. Now we've talked about what we need to get rid of. Now what I want you to do is look at your blog or your remaining pages on your website. And I want you to see what you have as far as what content you have. So you can use a tool to help you crawl it, to look at it and see. So if you want, there's a free one called Screaming Frog. I know it's a funny name, but it works really well. It's a free download. You can use it and it'll help you crawl your site and kind of see what Google sees. Or if you have analytics set up, I just go straight into analytics. And I go into my analytics and my blog is /blog. So I go into analytics and I just look at /blog. I pull the traffic for 12 to 18 months. That way I know I'm not making a decision based on seasonality. Let's say that there's a post. Most of mine are evergreen. Yours may or may not be. An evergreen post just means it's applicable at all times. So most of mine are evergreen, but you want to make sure that if there's something that is seasonal, you're not making a decision to cut it now when you actually would be getting a lot of traffic to it during the right time of year. So you want to look at that 12 to 18 month view, and you want to look and see which pages are getting no traffic, which pages are getting a lot of traffic. If you have a keyword ranking tool, you want to look and see which pages have keywords that are ranking high. Are there keywords that you could potentially get to page 2? Maybe you're at the top of page 2, maybe you want to get to page 1. There are so many things that you can do when you're auditing your content. What I generally recommend is you categorize and prioritize based on opportunity. So if you have blog posts that got like 5 visits in the last 18 months, you may not even want to bother with those, because you know what? They're not doing much. They're not getting a lot of traffic. Maybe your audience doesn't like them. Maybe they're not super relevant. Maybe they're really old and not very good, and you should consider just getting rid of them. What I want you to really look at are the ones that are getting traffic and the ones that are ranking. And I want you to look for SEO opportunities. So here, if you have ones that are ranking in your ranking software, let's say that your tracking shows that you are between 11 and 20 in your keyword rank for a given keyword. I want you to take a look at the blog post that is associated with that keyword and look and see what is the keyword and is it the right one? Should you maybe do a revision on it? Is there something that you should change to improve your SEO and see if you can potentially increase your rankings? So you're going to want to go through and use some of your competitive research. I've got some podcast episodes about this. If you're a student in simple SEO content, you have your AI SEO assistant who can help you with this. You also have access to me. Ask me questions. I will help you and answer them and walk you through what to do. So you're looking for opportunities. Are there keywords that you can rank for today that maybe you couldn't rank for before? Are there keywords that you could just adjust the title or the content a little bit and make it more applicable? Do you need to update the formatting? Like, I'm looking at my original blog post that I wrote here for how to audit your content. And let me tell you, before this goes live with the podcast episode and the embed and everything, I'm going to update the formatting on this drastically, because this was written probably in 2017 or 2018. It's been updated a few times from an SEO standpoint, but it's not been updated for AI SEO. I have not formatted it. There is not enough white space on this post There are different things that I'm going to change. Now, I update and review my content each year. I generally make it a summer project because, as you know, I work fewer hours in the summer. I don't do a whole bunch of big launches and things like that. So I try to do projects like this. You don't have to do it in the summer. Just do it maybe during your downtime. If you don't have downtime, then just choose a handful of posts and work on them at a time as you work your way through everything. You're going to want to determine what to update, what to keep as is, and what to get rid of. And once you've made that decision, like pull your data out of Google Analytics, create your spreadsheet, and just have keep, revise, delete. And that way you'll know what you have that you need to work with. And then you'll also be able to see, like, are there content gaps? Are there posts that you thought you had covered that you didn't? Or are there posts that you've covered 5 different ways and one is getting traffic and the others are not? That might be a situation where you want to redirect those others to whichever version of it is getting the most traffic. Because sometimes when we've been blogging for years, we duplicate. We don't realize we think we have a great idea, and we do, and we write it, and then we realize, oh yeah, I wrote one about that 5 years ago. So, you just want to look at it and do the update. In the blog post, there's more data, more details on like how do you determine what to look at from a data perspective. So make sure you take a look at that blog post. It was linked in your email. It's also linked in the description here because it does actually walk through like what questions you can ask yourself to figure out, do I keep, do I edit, do I remove? Last year when I did this, I removed over 100 posts from my blog because they really weren't applicable. And I'll be honest, it was painful because one of them in particular ranked in position number 1. It drove a ton of traffic, but I didn't have anything to sell the person who came in from that blog post because it was from 2017. It wasn't super relevant for me anymore. It was how to nail your first Facebook Live. I got hundreds of visits from that blog post every month. Great traffic, all of it. But I don't really teach Facebook Live at this point. I don't have a course that teaches anything about it. So while it was a great blog post and it ranked really high and it drove a lot of traffic, it didn't drive traffic for people who were interested in learning about SEO or what content to create. And so I ultimately killed it off. And yes, my website traffic dropped because of that. And so sometimes I have to remind myself, I removed several really good blog posts that were getting a lot of traffic, but I couldn't edit them in a way that was going to make them applicable and relevant to my business as it is today, which is why I got rid of them. Because it's more important to have the right people coming to your website. Even if you have fewer of the right people, it's going to work better than a bunch of the wrong people. And that's why we want to audit your content. Then I also want you to look at your content to see what can you adjust to be able to rank in or show up in AI search, AI overviews, AI mode, etc. Because your old content was not written with AI search in mind. Neither was mine. So we need to go through and revise and audit and update to help that old content drive traffic today. If it is still relevant and applicable to your business, let's update it and let's refresh it and let's get it out there so that it can start doing more to boost your SEO and your AI SEO. All right, hopefully you found this one helpful and gave you some ideas as to what to do. And like I said, make sure you look at the blog post on this one just because I've got a lot of questions you can ask yourself. I've got a lot of notes as to like where you can find the information, what to look at, things that I didn't go into as much in the podcast because you're not going to probably be jotting a bunch of notes. You're like me, you're probably walking or working out or driving. So make sure you review the blog post because it's got lots of data in there and questions and things you can do to help you go through this process. All right, that's it for today. You have a great day and I will see you back here next week. Bye for now. That's all for today's episode of the Simple SEO Content Podcast. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you visit my website, etchedmarketing.com, and visit the freebies tab. Right there, you're going to find the SEO Content Quick Start Guide along with the free SEO class. So you'll have everything you need to know to get started with SEO and content marketing. Then do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind, if you would do a rating and a review of this podcast on your favorite platform, that would really help spread the message, and I do greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can always DM me on Instagram at Etched Marketing Academy, and I will see you right back here next week.